I'm making this film to show some of the differences between the Marx M10000 and the Marx M10005. The green and cream locomotive on the right is an M10000, and that was made prior to the M10005. The M10005, as you can see, is, I would say, about half an inch to 3/8 of an inch shorter, and definitely a couple of inches shorter. And you'll look at these two trains flipped over on their back. This is an M10005, and you're going to see this basically the same single reduction motor over here in the M10000. The exception is this is somewhat free floating. You've got one screw that goes into the top. No rear wheels because of the much shorter locomotive here. You'll notice that they've put a bracket out here to put the light inside, and I'll show you later where the light goes on the others. And we also have a nice truck back here. Same as on the coaches. And this has a little wire. Someone's replaced it with speaker wire, and it goes from a little clip here, and that goes up to the headlight. And once again, on my cream and green M10000, you'll see free floating. On my yellow and brown M10005, none at all. She's just basically shifting on the track here as I move it. But there's no flotation of the frame. Body, I should say. These really didn't have a frame. And I'm going to show the observation cars. Get a little information on those. Here's two M10005 observation cars, and you'll see the one on the left, the yellow and brown, has no taillights. The green and cream has the two reflective taillight buttons. However, there is no electricity in there. And you'll look down at the M10000 observation on the left. You'll see the pickup for the lights. Someone has added this additional lamp for the middle of the coach. This is not stock. They've also put plastic on the inside over the windows. It turned out so nice I decided to keep it. So one of the major problems with the M10005 that I have found are on the wheels of the coaches. They're simply punched in, and you'll see difficult to work on, difficult to remove. Major things you want to do is make sure these things are free and they spin. I'm holding the axle down with one finger, spinning the wheel with the other. Same over here, hope you can see. And keep the body away from the wheels. So it's really important to keep these wheels cleaned up. They will freeze up, they will drag, the body will bend in and push against the wheels, and then you wonder what's wrong with your motor. It's not pulling your train correctly. Well, it's not a problem with your motor, it's a problem with the wheels. Now with the M10000, they have these free-floating trucks, and these are really great. Really spin really nice. Of course, I've lubricated all these. I've unfrozen the frozen ones, and I've cleaned them all up. And it's not good enough just to have a axle that will spin inside these bodies. You really need wheels that will spin on the axle freely like these do. Now, once again, as I've shown before, a lot of difference in coupling. Sorry, my arm's in the way. Check the camera to see if it shows us correctly. Here's our little hole that we have to drop a pin in to connect our M10000 cars. And here's our nice little groove. So that's really great. Groove helps you simply line the little car up through the slot, and here you will see the pin, and you simply drop the pin down into the hole, which is really nice and easy. Now this M10005, the yellow and brown, there's probably about a 99 9/10% chance that this was originally a clockwork. Occasionally things left Lionel and Marx factories when they needed more production and somebody slapped something together, but the yellow and brown was produced as a clockwork train. This does have the correct engine, or I should say motor, for the era. Difficult to see, but there is a reversing switch up here. It's push frontward for forward, backwards for reverse, and that would also be used for the slot would also be used for a clockwork for on and off, and a key would have gone, I believe, through this hole right here for winding it up for a clockwork engine. So I hope this explains some of the similarities and some of the differences. I like them both. One thing I found out when I ran them today is my M10005 really doesn't like my 027 track. And I'm going to say I believe that's because of these rigid axles where it has to kind of drag the car around corners. And even though the coaches are smaller, mine don't like to run on 027 tracks. Perhaps somebody else has some that do. While the larger M10000s have got the floating trucks, and they corner just fine. They'll go at high speed through the 027 corners. One more thing I'll show you, which a lot of people don't know, it's an old secret that I learned from a HO guy, is put weights inside your trains when they're derailing. I've got very strong magnets inside each one of these cars because these cars are so light they will derail. Particularly your observation cars will whip around corners and derail. So I keep a magnet inside each car in my M10000 and in my M10005s and in my articulated Mercuries. Because although we call these tin plates, they're not made out of tin, they're made out of pressed steel, and magnets stick to them really good. So, hope this gave you a little information. It's all the stuff I didn't know when I bought these. When I bought this nice little M10005 with its wonderful little motor, I thought, gee, I got an original train here. Well, I probably didn't. I got a clockwork with the correct motor for the M10005, but it probably came with a wind-up or clockwork motor. So, just give you another view of these trains. Here you will also see the older motors had three-piece contacts for the center rail. And in later years this all became one piece. And that's a great way to tell if you've got an older motor. And also you'll see the one large gear here that lets you know it's a single reduction motor. And that's it. Thanks for watching. And once again, this has been a Big Lizard production. Bye-bye.